So a lot of video game Easter eggs are so small that finding them is actually really hard. However, there are some video game Easter eggs that are so big, you will wonder how you ever missed them. In today's video, we're taking a look at the 10 biggest video game Easter eggs of all time. Now, the chances are that I've missed some really big Easter eggs myself. I mean, no one's perfect. So if you can think of a giant Easter egg that would have been suitable for this video, then let me know in the comments. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with The Evil Within 2. Now, if you've been following my Easter egg hunting exploits for a while now, you'll know that in The Evil Within 1, you could summon a giant pig. Well, giant for a pig anyway. Well, The Evil Within 2 also has a giant animal hidden away, and it's actually quite hard to find. At the start of Chapter 3 on a New Game Plus save file, you can find a zombie hiding under a car. When you approach the car, the zombie will crawl out and run away. Now, it's very important that this zombie doesn't see you, so try to make yourself scarce when it appears. There are 2 other zombies hiding underneath a car, and after approaching each one, they will run off. Well, apart from this one who had trouble navigating this fence. Anyway, after rounding up all 3 zombies, head to this building, where we can find our recently disturbed zombies banging on a wall. Now you need to sneak up behind each zombie and kill them with a stealth attack. If you're seen like I was here, just run and hide until they forget you ever existed. After stealth killing the 3rd and final zombie, this will happen. So completing those seemingly random steps will cause a giant crow to spawn. And to be honest, he's a pretty chill guy. Unfortunately, if you kill the crow, you'll be rewarded with a whopping 60,000 green gel. I mean, chill guy or not, 60,000 gel is 60,000 gel. Now, perhaps one of the most famous big video game Easter eggs can be found in Grand Theft Auto 4. Set in New York City, Liberty City, GTA 4 recreates some of the Big Apple's most iconic landmarks in a legally distinct way. One such landmark is the Statue of Happiness, which is an obvious nod to the Statue of Liberty. If you were to try and head inside the giant statue, you'll be told that there is no hidden content this way. But if gaming in 2025 has taught me anything, it's that you shouldn't trust the words of video game developers. And if you do go inside, you can find this. So for some reason, this completely lifeless statue has a gigantic beating heart inside of it. I don't know why, but I've always found this Easter egg really creepy. So Modern Warfare 2019 is home to a lot of really cool and creative Easter eggs, but only one of them is big enough for today's video. On the station gunfight map, if you shoot this thing, then a number will be revealed. So that's actually the first of 5 different numbers that can be found on the map, and shooting here will reveal a number pad. Simply enter the numbers into the keypad from left to right by shooting the corresponding numbers on the number pad. I mean, it's Call of Duty, it's not exactly known for nuance. After entering the code, this will happen. So a giant teddy bear will fall from the sky and look pretty damn terrifying. That is, until fighter jets swoop in and put an end to the teddy's reign of terror. Now, Fireworks Mania describes itself as an explosive simulator, and that's pretty spot on. You can spend hours just messing around with fireworks, or try to bring your computer to its knees with a bombastic display of graphic card pounding sparkle. Of course, you're free to explore the area at your will, and somehow a giant pink flamingo is hiding just round the corner. If you Skyrim yourself over these mountains, you can find this. So this giant pink flamingo is hiding a secret deep in its bosom. If we take a look at the flamingo's breast, you can find a message from the game's developers asking people to tag them in the Easter egg, which I think is pretty wholesome. Now, the Gears of War games have always had excellent Easter eggs, but the Easter egg that we're interested in today is not only excellent, it's also massive. On the exhibit map, you can find a giant Brumac statue, which is cool, but isn't an Easter egg. Well, if you shoot the 7 hidden plates on the map, and be warned some of these are really tricky to find, you will hear a roar. After hearing the roar, you'll need to have 2 friends stand at these advertising boards, and then have a minimum of 2 people aiming towards the giant statue. The images on the board will change, and your friends will need to tell you which plushies you need to shoot depending on what's shown on the board. It can be pretty tricky to pull off as the time limit is strict, but if done correctly, this will happen. So the giant Brumac statue will become a lot less scary as it's given a fluffy makeover. Honestly, I remember recording this Easter egg with Garbett, Swifter and Knight Subset over 5 years ago, where after completing it for the first time, I realised I wasn't recording. Speaking of Garbett, I'd like to thank him for sending over this next Easter egg. He also has a YouTube channel, so be sure to check him out. Anyway, the Battlefield series has always had an obsession with giant sharks, with perhaps my favourite example being this one from Battlefield 1. Now, you might be thinking, what could possibly top that? Well, I have one word for you.
Sharknado! Sharknado! Sharknado!
Okay, so technically that was one word repeated 3 times, but work with me here. If you load up the orbital map during stormy weather, you'll find this warning sign on the beach, which means that the Easter egg is possible to complete. Now head to the B1 capture point and pick up the walkie-talkie near the bins, and bring it back to the sign at the beach and activate it. So that Morse code translates to SOS, Shark bit our stern. Boat too small, find remotes, activate scanner. What that means is that we have to look for some laptops, which can be found here, 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 and here. If you want a more in-depth guide, I'll link Garbett's video in the description. Anyway, after grabbing the 4 laptops, head back to the beach and interact with them in this order. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3. If done correctly, the boy in the distance will begin flashing Morse code. It's at this point you'll need to find a willing friend to sacrifice to the shark gods. And after enough blood has been shed, this will happen. So it's a Sharknado in Battlefield 2042. I mean, say what you want about this game, but the weather effects are insane. Now, truth be told, there are multiple giant Easter eggs from the Hitman series that could feature in this video, but the one that I've chosen is probably the biggest of them all. On the Bangkok map, you'll need to acquire the Exterminator's disguise and find the hotel manager. Speak to her and tell her that the top floor needs to be evacuated so you can exterminate some bugs. After everyone has left the top floor, find the keyboard and interact with it. After playing a flawless rendition of La Carucha, head outside the hotel to find this.
Dressing up as you being my wingman, father and son stuff. It's gross.
So, looming over the skyline is a giant cockroach, which nobody else seems to notice. Like I said, Hitman is full of giant Easter eggs, like this rubber duck and this concrete donkey. But nothing matches the sheer size and scale of this cockroach. Now, it was only a couple of videos ago that we discovered the secret Cow King in Serious Sam 4. Who would have been perfect for this video. Fortunately for me, there is another giant enemy that can be found in a different Serious Sam game who is even bigger. On the Serpent Yards level in Serious Sam's second encounter, you can find the secret Watcher. So originally spawning as a pair of floating eyes, if you shoot the eyes, a giant kamikaze enemy will appear. And true to his name, he will blow himself up shortly after spawning. Right, the final giant Easter egg can be found in Rise Son of Rome. During Chapter 7, you'll come to an area with a small pond. After taking out all of the enemies, if you shoot the statues that I do, this will happen. So this is the giant head of Roman Emperor Nero. There is no way to interact with the head, and getting too close will see it sink beneath the water. Still, you have to admit, that's a pretty big head. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. And as always, I'll speak to you all soon.